Hello guys, how you doing? This is Surf, your friend. So, this is like a part 2 to my first tutorial, which I have made. Now, this tutorial which I made was very poorly created. It was created to get things off my mind, and it wasn't really, something detailed. And I've almost finished my service, so I want to go back and recreate the tutorial in a way that is, one, more detailed, and two, easy to understand. Of course, it won't be easy to understand if you don't play the game a lot, but it will be easier to understand the pattern once the tutorial is finished. I hope that by the end of the tutorial, you will go away very happily with basically everything that you wanted to know. Now, I want to start out by saying sorry. There were past altercations between the Demago community and me, where I wrongly say that I knew the pattern where I didn't. I am here to safely say that I have relearned the pattern, and that I'm here to share with you some knowledge. This knowledge is not to 100% complete the pattern, but rather to help you with your LNN runs or timeout captures, as it is very important to complete Doremy, because as we all know, Doremy is a bitch. The pattern, not Doremy, I love Doremy. So let's begin the tutorial, shall we? Okay, so let's begin with the patterns. We have 3 patterns on our list. We have the right pattern, the left pattern, and the fuck all pattern, which I'll get to at near the end of the video. Because it is the last pattern and it's kind of important to know, but we'll get to it at the end of the video. First of all is the right pattern. The right pattern is when 2 of the bullets go fast. I'll explain what are the bullets in a short minute. But the right pattern is when the 2 bullets go fast. That's when you go right. The left pattern is when the bullets go very, very slowly, or Doremy is way too close to the ground. And the fuck all pattern is when the bullets just either go really, really, really slow to the point where they don't even converge, or they go so slow and they end in the middle, or in the middle of their spell, which completely fucks up all routing, by the way. So those are the 3 patterns we have to know, and I want to go over the right one first. Because the right one is the most basic, it's the easiest to do, and from my experience, it's also the most common, you will see. So let's begin. Okay, so let's begin with the right pattern. The right pattern is when the 2 bullets, big bullets, come and intersect really fast and move towards you. Now, what are the 2 bullets, you may ask? Well, let's see here on the screen. Right here. You see those 2 bullets that are moving towards you? They will almost always spawn, and the only difference is, are they gonna go slow or are they gonna go fast? We are gonna go what happens if they go fast. And so those 2 bullets again on the screen, like you can see right here, are the main ingredient for this pattern. So right now you see they go fast. So you need to go to the right and wait for them to come. Now don't button force this. Button forcing might actually be the worst thing you can do, especially if Doremy is up there. That will be a huge mistake. What you want to do is go between the bullets and and react to what's coming to you. Now, disclaimer, most of those patterns, most of this pattern, specifically Doremy 1 itself, is actually reaction time based. So unless you have good reaction time, you cannot execute this pattern consistently. Now, usually when you go to right, the bullets are more intersects. There are tiny bullets and big bullets. The Mentos, tiny bullets, Mentos, are really random. They are always random. You cannot know where they go. What I suggest doing is after you go to the right, you wait a little bit. You have to look up and see where they correspond. See the pattern, recognize the pattern. Pattern recognition is also a big part of this spell. And after you recognize the pattern, what you want to do is follow yourself, like in the video. As you can see, the pattern itself is not that complicated, but it's mostly reaction based. But when you see the tiny bullets, when you see the fast bullets, you want to go to the right almost every time. Not every time, because sometimes there is a corner. But let's look at the video. Like you can see on the video that I just showed, you can actually force this in a corner. Why you can do this? Because the right bullets specifically, the way they converge, they allow you a lot of space. There is a lot of space to move after that, which allows you to execute it even in corners. Although in the bottom, when you bottom force this, when Doremy is really down and you have to bottom force, sometimes this pattern might not work because you have less room. So I suggest if you have to bottom force a lot, go to the left. Now, after this tiny explanation, I want to go over and explain the left bottom. But first, let's have a look at a right-only pattern, shall we? Oh, hey, how you doing? It's Earth. Cheers, mates. Cheers. It's currently around 12 a.m. in the morning, right? If you take a closer look, shit, right here. If you take a closer look, I have... Oops, wrong screen. If you take a closer look here, I am barely finished with anything. I just started, like, the entire thing. I'm like 8 minutes in. And I have a shit ton of clips to use. Like, I only use, like, 7 clips. And that's not all. I'm still yet to import some other clips. So, safe to assume I am here for the entire night. So, if you did like the tutorial and if you came all the way here, and you still like the tutorial, right? I'd appreciate if you actually commented and liked. Because it's the first time I actually edit something this seriously. It's the first time I take this noun seriously enough to make a tutorial, a detailed one about it. So I'd be happy, right? If you commented something that shows me you actually watched the tutorial and, didn't just click on it because fuck why. So I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. I know I shared some stupid shit, but it's all behind us, and I hope we can continue. So let's move on to the left pattern. Let's go over the left pattern. So the left pattern is a bit more complicated because specifically there are no good ways to execute it. This pattern has almost zero spacing, and the only time you have to execute this pattern is either button forcing when Doremy is really down, and again, this will never happen in an LNN or an LBN or any kind of run. I'm explaining those specifically for people who either want to do a timeout or doing some crazy fucking shit. Because the patterns I'm about to describe right now will never happen in a normal run. They never do. Because it's impossible to force Doremy to go to down all the way to button force you. So it's almost impossible. But there are still times where you have to use the left pattern, specifically when the bullets go MS low, and that is possible in a normal run. So let's dive over this. So the left pattern is really complicated because it relies a lot more on fast reaction time and a lot more on instincts. But let's go over the left pattern. As you can see in the video, the bullets are going really slowly, and I don't know what to do. They go so slow that I can barely even, do anything. And I'm looking at the two big bullets, I'm like, wait, they are slow. What am I supposed to do? Or sometimes you will look at the bullets and you're like, sometimes they won't even be slow, by the way. Sometimes you will not see the bullets. You're like, wait, I don't see the bullets. Or the bullets are slow. I cannot go in between them. I'm going to hit a face full of fucking Mentos. What am I going to do? So in this case, you want to go to the right. Specifically, the big bullets that go in the middle, right? They will always go. There are some big bullets that will go in the middle. You want to go like a few like steps, like 1, 2, 3, or a little 1, 2, and you want to try to get in between a position where you can see the other bullets. At this point, it's spray and pray, but what you can do to minimize it is when you go left, you want to specifically look for a place between a Mentos and a bullet, or two big bullets. If you go between those two big bullets, I guarantee you will survive. Between two big bullets that come after that come to the left, you will survive. And this pattern, specifically the left, relies a lot on reaction time and pattern recognition. Again, what you want to do is when you go to the left, you want to look up. And when you look up, okay, you need to see where the big bullets are going. The big bullets are what concerns you. The Mentos you can dodge easily. You want to see where the big bullets go, because some of them will converge, but will never like give you enough space for your hitbox to go safely. So you want to look for those bullets and avoid them. So you go left, and you want to book it to the right. Whenever you see an opportunity, you want to go left, but you have to book it to the right whenever you can. Because if you don't book it to the right, what ends up happening is that you're going to get a face full of Mentos. Because the big bullets either converge and leave a Mentos, or you're just going to go into a Mentos cell. So what you want to do is go left, and when you see an opening, usually after like less than a second, you want to book it a little bit to the right and start following the big bullets. That's it for the pattern, for the left pattern, because it's usually very slow. Now, what happens when you go into a down position? What happens when you button force it? Button forcing is a little harder, because now again, this specific pattern will never happen in a normal run. Now I'm explaining this specific pattern for only the people who are actually going to attempt a timeout or a pacifist. If you attempt a pacifist on LLK, get some fucking help, because you need to be nailed to a cross. Anyway, the left pattern on a button force. This button force happens when Doremy just goes down for no fucking reason and fucks you up and gives you a left pattern. Now normally, when she goes down, she either gives you a focal pattern or a right pattern. She almost never does a left, but sometimes it does happen. What you want to do in a left pattern situation is, again, go to the left, but this time stay on the left. This time you want to stay a lot longer on the left because the right is still developing. The right pattern is still developing. So there are a lot of mentors on the right pattern, so you want to go to the left. When you go to the left, on a bottom force left pattern, you want to stay on the left for as long as possible, unless you have no choice, and then go to the right. This pattern differentiate because in this pattern you don't try to book it to the right because you'll eat mentors. Here you're trying to stay into the left pattern because the left pattern is actually a lot more safer because the bullets actually didn't have time to develop yet. So most of them are extremely spaced out because they're yet to collide. So what you want to do is stay on the left, and until the last second is that where you want to go right. This is an extremely hard pattern. The left pattern sometimes screws over a lot of players. And the only way to get it consistently is if you're really good at the game, you have good reaction time, pattern recognition, and you see the left pattern coming fast enough to book it. Now, this can differentiate a lot, and we're going to touch it when we go to the factor pattern. But before that, let's look at an example of a left pattern. Now, for the final moment you've probably all been waiting for, the factor pattern. Now, this pattern doesn't happen a lot, but it can and probably will happen in a run, because it still has a chance, a probable chance of happening. And myself included, it did happen in a LBM. It did happen to me. So let's go over how to fix it. Right now, we have a perfectly normal run. Until we have, oh, look at that. That's somehow that fucked me up, because like you see, that pattern just went right in the middle, and I didn't know what to do. I panicked, tried to go into a direction, and fucking lost. This is a factor pattern. A factor pattern, that's how I call it, is a pattern, you can call it also a center pattern, but you don't go center, so don't call it that. But it's a factor pattern. A factor pattern is when either the bullets, straight up, the two big bullets that go fast or slow, go really slow, to the point where you can't go into them or even look at them respectfully. But by that I mean you cannot go in between them or, expect where to come. And or, because those two can happen simultaneously, two big bullets that come really slow and meet at the center, with no space to go in between them, or a tiny space to go. In this case, you have two scenarios. And the first scenario is where you cannot go in between them. Where you cannot go in between them, you have to book it. Now, where to book it is a real question. And there are indications. So normally when those two patterns, when they go slowly and don't meet, like don't converge, right? They go in the middle and don't leave you enough space to go in between them. You have to look at the fast patterns. If you see the two big bullets going fast, go to the right. It's almost always, even in a right corner pattern where you're stuck to the corner, you can still do it. If you see a two big bullets pattern and you have a factor pattern, go to the right, because usually it's all developed and you'll have enough space to react. But what happens when you don't have the right button and the bullets just go slowly or don't appear? And the only thing you have is the two big bullets that meet at the center and don't give you space. At this point, you'll have to look for an opening on the left. Because if that happens, that is an indicator that the right is not developed. And if you try to force it into the right, and some two big bullets are just going to converge and stop you from even making a move. So you'll have to be really lucky, which is never going to happen. What you want to do is go to the left. Now, when you go to the left and right on a focus pattern, that is an indicator that you have to spam pray, because the factor pattern is called that for a reason. It relies on luck and a lot of pattern recognition. The factor pattern is usually the main cause of death, and what you want to do when you encounter it is, if it doesn't have space, go to the left. And when you go to the left, what you want to do is the same thing with the left bottom force pattern. The same thing with the left button force pattern, you want to do the same thing. You want to stay on the left, okay, and wait till the right is developed enough to book it there. But if Doremy is really, really, really high, like above, and you still don't have space to cross, do the left button, right, but book it to the right. So do it as if you had slow-moving bullets. What do I mean by that? Let's go over again. If you have the small bullets, sorry, if you have the big bullets that converge but don't give you enough space to go in between them and go to the center, the circle pattern, and you're relatively close to the ground, aka Doremy is in normal position, what you want to do is treat it like a left button force pattern. You want to treat it, go to the left, and try to stay on the left as long as you can. That's the best chances of survival. If you have a center pattern, but Doremy is all the way up, and you don't have a way to go in between them, go and treat this like a left pattern with slow bullets, like a left pattern where you don't have the button force. So what you do is you go left, and when you can, book it to the right. So you go left for a second, and when you feel like you can, go to the right. And that's how you complete that specific pattern. Now, if there are two big bullets, and those bullets go fast, aka a right pattern, and you have a fucker pattern, just go to the right. It doesn't matter where you are. Just go to the right. It's your best chances. Now, there is also a big chance, right? Where the left pattern, right? Sorry, where the big bullets to go to the center leave you enough space to go in between them, and that's lucky. If those big bullets give you enough space to go in between them, your best bet is to go in between, like you see in the video right here. Go in between, wait, and book it to the right. And play it like you will the right pattern with a lot more caution. So basically, if you have a space to go in between and play it like a right pattern. Let's look at an example right now. So after looking at example, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. After looking at the example, you can see that sometimes it will fuck you, but sometimes it will not. What primarily you want to do is look out to where it's going. Again, there are 3 combinations. Sorry, there are 4 combinations. If you see a right pattern, you go to the right. If you are relatively close to the bottom and you have no space to go, you go left and treat it like a button force. If you have a slow moving and you don't have a space to go in between them, you primarily want to go to the left and book it to the right and treat it as if it was a left pattern with developed right pattern. And if you have 2 bullets to go in between them, you just go in between them, that's all. So, and that's why it happens. And I will say, the focal pattern is hard, because sometimes, even if you follow my advice right now, there is a small chance, but still probable, that you will get fucked over. Now, this will almost never, ever happen in a normal run, because the chances of that happening are really low. But it still can happen. Let's watch a vid right now, and we'll go over to the conclusion. Wow, truly a journey. So first of all, I want to say, none of the clips were reused. Every single clip of a timeout or anything was its own clip. I have like 36 or more clips. That's one. Second, I would like to, say that this was a long fucking thing. It took me like 4 or 5 hours to do. It's 2 a.m. right now in the morning. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. And I hope this can help you. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. This one is not 100%. But I hope I have managed to drill some of my stupid fucking knowledge on this Stockholm Syndrome pattern into you. Because this pattern is really fun. And at the end of the day, it's very technical. So I hope you enjoyed. I was Seraph, you were you. And if you watched till the end, I'd like to have a comment. So have a great day, Damoku channel. See you later.